Thank you for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. As Africa continues to make strategic moves with regards to its geopolitical partners, the recent visit to the country of Germany by the president of Namibia clearly indicated the reason why Africa is revisiting its relationship with its previous colonial powers. It is important to note that Germany's relationship with Namibia has been frosty with regards to other strategic issues regarding Germany's presence in the colonial period in the country of Namibia. The president spoke about trade, investment, development, collaboration, research and sciences. However, the most important question came with regards to the reparations and the demand that the country of Namibia requesting German government to compensate the people of the region where Germany committed an incredible atrocity during the period. A number of discussions were involved in business relationship. Let's listen to how the president of Namibia approached that questions, and we will dive into very important specifics on where this particular reparation issue stands at the moment.
First, we have to talk to the German to agree that what was done is genocide. It took time, but now on both sides we agree that it is genocide that was done. Then the issue of the apology, they never doubted that. They said they are ready to apologize.
Now, you just mentioned a couple of countries that you're partnering with, but you have Germany as well as a partner. You still have the question of the reparations for the genocide during colonial times. What do you want Germany to do?
Now you really come to the real question. It's not what you are asking me, what do I want Germany to do? That's not the correct question.
What could be the correct question?
The correct question is, when you do something wrong and you recognize that you have done something wrong, what do? You make sure that you stretch your hand to the person you have wronged. If you are a strong person of a goodwill, you apologize, and you facilitate to remove the wrongs that have been done. And that's what we have been negotiating. First, we have to talk to the German to agree that what was done is genocide. It took time, but now on both sides we agree that it is genocide that was done. Then the issue of the apology, they never doubted that. They said they are ready to apologize. Okay? What has been is, how do you compensate life lost? Lives lost, not only in the fighting, but in the concentration camps. Not only in the concentration camp, removing all their land and all their cows and other properties. To weigh that, what was lost and what could be done now, has been quite a challenge. But we think with goodwill, we can find a formula, not a perfect one, but at least a formula to indicate that the wrong had been recognized and atonement or reparation has been done. And it can also be done in one year. It has to be done step by step so that the community feel vindicated, that their demand for reparation, their demand for the wrong that have been done.
This particular process has not been easy so far, but the country of Namibia has stood its grounds, putting a number of pressure with regards to the relationship between Germany and Namibia. This is the reason why African nations have suffered in the hands of their colonial masters, ranging from a number of colonial activities that were committed in those particular countries. That's why African nations are looking for more strategic partners that have their own interest. The German government has pushed back in previous years. The Namibian people said the amount of money that was put forward for the Namibian people was unacceptable, so to put it that way. So it's important to note that the Namibian parliament deliberated on this, and politicians and a number of geopolitical analysts have talked about this particular issue. But in the country of Namibia, this is how it played in the media. Let's go to our friends, the African News, to look into how they perceive this particular relationship and how the Namibian government is pushing on this particular situation.
Namibia wants Germany back at the negotiating table to discuss the genocide agreement reached last year between the two governments. Namibia's vice president revealed during a meeting of traditional leaders Thursday that technical committees of Namibia and Germany proposed that amendments be added to the initial joint declaration. No details of the changes being sought were given. Namibia now awaits a response from Germany. The request to review the deal was made in July following discussions in the Namibian National Assembly. The government was coming under mounting criticism from the opposition. Germany acknowledged in May last year that it had committed genocide in the Southern African territory, which it colonized between 1884 and 1915. After over 5 years of negotiations, Germany offered about $1 billion in development aid spread over 30 years, stressing it would be paid on a voluntary basis and that the agreement was not comparable to reparations. Many Namibians rejected the agreement, arguing that the descendants of the Herero and Nama people had not been sufficiently involved in the talks. At least 60,000 Hereros and about 10,000 Namas were killed in the early 1900s.
Now, a number of people will ask, why this particular visit is important after the FOCAC visit in China, where African countries met with their Chinese counterpart to talk about the normal strategic relationship that African countries are involved in. The president of Namibia flew to Germany to continue the conversation, as you've seen in the first clip that I played, and also in the second clip how the Namibian parliament is putting pressure. The Namibian people have pushed back. It's important. People will ask, why should Germany pay the reparation? Of course, they should pay. Colonialism, in the first place, was an opportunity for most of those countries to express their shared wickedness and just to treat their particular captives in a very vicious way. So it's important to Germany to step up and make sure that it meets its commitment and compensate the people of Namibia, to make sure that these genocidal activities should be reduced, or no amount of money is going to cover the life of the Namibian people. It's important to note that, because we talk about money and $1 billion here, is as if the life of the Namibian people, it's going to be just $1 billion. That's not going to be what you can say it matches that particular activity that happened during the colonial days. However, the compensation must be paid, and it's a good thing that Germany has accepted its activities in the particular country of Namibia. But more importantly, that particular visit, it gives an opportunity for the president of Namibia to continue to have that conversation. Let's listen to what the local Namibian television station that covered that visit in Germany have to say about this. Then we will close down this episode.
Presidents Bumba and Steinmeier held talks at the official presidential palace, where matters of mutual concern to either country were discussed, including the ongoing rounds of negotiations on genocide, apology, and reparations. The draft joint declaration was put on hold last year to enable negotiating teams to consider the proposed amendments. Press Secretary Dr. Alfredo Hengari indicated that both Bumba and Steinmeier are optimistic over the finality of the genocide talks.
President Bumba highlighted the importance of reaching a deal on the question of genocide, apology, and reparations. An agreement that speaks to the concerns and the demands of the affected communities and Namibia in general. And both leaders agree on the importance of an agreement that meets those expectations. And both pledged that the final agreement will inevitably speak to the expectations of the Namibian people.
Among the demands by the affected communities is the return of ancestral land and modalities around reparations. Owing to the ongoing negotiations, Dr. Hengari could not divulge on whether these demands would be reflected in the final joint declaration.
I'm not at liberty to speak to those specific issues, but what I can assure you is the fact that Germany has been flexible enough to deal with those valid concerns that were raised by the Namibian negotiating team.
President Bumba is on a working visit to Germany.
The government of Namibia has clearly indicated how the funds are going to be used. Once the money is paid, they plan to strengthen their strategic society and also make sure that they improve on the community development, and more importantly, give back the money to those individuals who own this land, and also to strengthen some societal issues, the social system, and build infrastructure. A number of very important things will be done with that funds. So the fact that people say that Germany should not compensate those individuals in those countries, I think is a misconception. The German government has accepted its responsibility and is engaged in the process, and we all shall be looking on how Germany will continue to follow that particular compensation process and make sure that those individuals that lost property can benefit and also bring back their community to a standard that also fits with regards to their own community development. Let's listen to what the president have to say, and we will close this episode.
Some of the process we are going to do is that when we have agreed, the majority of the funds will be used to buy back some of the farms so that the people who lost the land will get their land. Okay? We have a constitution which says you cannot take property from somebody which is registered in their name without compensation. So we use some of this German money to buy some of those land so that at least the community can have a place that they can call their own. Then we have certain institutions that have to be strengthened. We have certain development. The issue of water, we have already mentioned. The issue of institutions, schools, clinics, hospitals, churches, or places of worship, community halls. What are they going to do? The road network, the creation of places where people can come and practice their culture. All those things have to be done. It has to be done, but specifically in the areas where these crimes were committed. The central Namibia and southern Namibia specifically.
And some affected communities, Nama and Herero, have complained of not being adequately consulted on this issue. As you say, it's all in people's hands. Would you say that has been a failure on the government's part?
First of all, it is the community started indicating or demanding, as I said. The community started that. But how do you negotiate anything? You can't have every Namibian coming to Germany to negotiate and every German person coming to Namibia to negotiate. You have to negotiate within the authority of a state. Okay? So we have been talking to our traditional leaders. But in every community, democracy is democracy. You will always have different views. But that does not mean we have not consulted them. They know what we are doing. Even before I left home, they knew I was coming to Germany. But I did not come here to negotiate. I came here to attend this Hamburg Sustainability Conference. But we also used the opportunity then to meet. And not only me and the Chancellor, but with our teams. Nothing is secret, nothing is being covered. We are ready to serve our people and the people from all our communities.
We want to thank you for watching. Hopefully we've informed you in regards to this particular strategic relationship between Germany and also the country of Namibia. There are lots of business relationship that's involved in terms of hydrogen, mineral resources, and how Germany can also help the country of Namibia grow and advance, and how Namibia is choosing its geopolitical partners with care. We thank you for watching. We encourage you to check some of other informative videos on this YouTube channel. We are looking forward to meeting you again in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.